I've been making travel videos for just over a year now, and it's been an interesting process, filled with frustration sometimes, but also a lot of satisfaction from learning something new and satisfaction from getting comments from viewers like you. It's been really fun to see the reaction to my previous videos, and at the moment I'm kind of reflecting on what I've learned from this process. So I thought it'd be fun to share it. I had no videography experience at all a year ago, so the first thing that I really had to learn was the importance of B-roll. B-roll is, individual shots that you take of something, like a close-up of something or a pan or things like that. It's showing the world around you, and the B-roll is what you put on top of your timeline, on top of your A-roll, which is what we're doing right now. This is A-roll. I'm talking into the camera. So B-roll, very important, especially for the style of videos that I like to make. I think travel videos are kind of on a continuum, on a spectrum between very vloggy or very cinematic. There are channels that are purely travel vlogging in the sense of providing kind of almost a travel diary, which is really cool. I follow some of these channels usually because they're doing something remarkable, or they're, on a motorbike going around the world or something, and I just want to see what they're doing that day. So it's very authentic. I like that style. One downside of that style is that usually with travel vlogs, pure vlogs, is that the person's face is visible for like 90% of the timeline. And I don't know if that is all that interesting. Sometimes it is, but sometimes as a viewer, I want to see more of what is happening around them. Why are they talking about things instead of showing it? So I didn't want to do pure vlogging, but also on the other side, you have pure cinematic, which is loads of drone shots, slow motion, everything is color graded, everything is perfect. These videos can look absolutely epic, but also can get kind of boring. If you know that a person spent hours and hours just making everything perfect and color grading it and so on, it kind of removes you a little bit as a viewer, I think, because it just doesn't seem as authentic in a way. So pure cinematic is also not a style I want to do. So I want to be somewhere in the middle, sometimes a bit vloggy, sometimes a little bit cinematic, and that means lots and lots of B-roll. So I had to learn how to shoot that, how to organize the files, and how to sort through those shots and find the ones that I want. The next thing I had to learn was that if you're going to do that type of video, you need to have at least some idea of what a video is going to be before you make it. With travel videos, you cannot really make a script. You cannot really lay it all out in advance. That would be weird. Travel is unpredictable, and so I don't do that. But I have learned to at least know a little bit what the intro is going to be. And I learned this from my early videos in Colombia. Initial idea for my Colombia videos was, I'm gonna put every place I go into like a compilation, the end. That was the concept, not much of a concept at all. I was just gonna show like every place, every stop along the way, and that was just gonna be one video. And once I got to the editing, I realized that that was way too unwieldy, very unfocused, it got too big, and it didn't seem so interesting or clickable, actually. Here's a bunch of places in Colombia. So I decided it should be split up into 2 or 3 different videos. But then I ran into problems, because one video was now titled Going Off the Beaten Path in the Coffee Region of Colombia. And then I realized, I don't have a single shot of anything related to coffee in the coffee region of Colombia. Just the region I happen to be, but it is famous for its Arabica coffee, and I probably should have gone to a coffee farm or something. I'd done it on a previous trip, but not on that particular trip. But had I known that that was going to be the title of the video, I probably would have shot some footage to hook into that name of the region and kind of smoothly enter into all the other things that I saw there. Instead, I started the video saying, I'm in the coffee region of Colombia. Here's a bunch of not coffee related things. It was kind of hard to get that video going. So now I think about the intro a bit more. With Mexico, I went to Guanajuato, and there I did a better job, I think. because this city is known to be very pleasant to walk around, very pedestrian friendly, and the reason for that is they have a lot of tunnels underneath the city where all the traffic goes through. So I decided to use that a little bit as a hook and to say, what is the secret of Guanajuato? Okay, so I started the video with some mysterious tunnel footage, and then quickly I revealed that the secret is the tunnels. I don't want to be clickbaity, but I had that first kind of minute in mind, and then I knew what I needed, the puzzle pieces, the B-roll, and then it's also more fun and easier to edit the rest of the video. The rest can just be whatever happened, but because you have a cool intro, you already feel confident that the rest of it is just gonna work well. People are gonna stick with it longer than if you just have an intro that doesn't really work. And my next and maybe most important lesson learned, which may be surprising if you follow creator channels at all, is that you need to invest in the right gear. Every creator channel seems to say that gear doesn't matter. They're kind of like, gear, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what kind of camera you have, as long as you are creative. If you don't have a good camera, just use your first generation iPhone. I don't know, like they pretend that creativity is the only thing you need, which is not true. Gear is really important. It doesn't necessarily mean buying the most expensive gear out there, but you need to have gear that you're comfortable with and that doesn't get in the way. In the beginning for me, my GoPro 10 was all I needed. That was a good beginner camera for me because you don't have to worry about focus. It has a fixed aperture lens, so everything will be kind of in focus, sort of. It's small, it's easy to put on a monopod. It's not too big, so people don't look at you funny when you're filming something. It doesn't distract you so much. You're not as self-conscious with a GoPro, I think, in the beginning. You can put a microphone on it, and it'll be a pretty decent camera, I guess. And in the beginning, it definitely helped to have like a simple device. But then I got really frustrated with it. GoPro sucks. It's good as an action camera, but I don't recommend it as a general travel camera. It overheats all the time, which in these hot countries like Colombia and Mexico, it happened so many times that I had a perfect take and then it just pooped out. It crashes a lot. So then you have to screw out the monopod, take off the case, take out the battery, because that's the only way to reset it. GoPro is known for its wide angle, but you can make it more narrow, which is cool. But then even in narrow mode, if you have a microphone on top, that microphone will very easily be in your shot. So a lot of shots got ruined by just a microphone being in it. I had to solve that problem. And then the audio, like the mic jack is really unreliable. And I've done a lot of takes where I was talking about something in location on the GoPro and I didn't have any audio. And it's not visible on the screen that you don't have any audio, there's no warning. And this actually really hurt the quality of my last videos because 50% of my A-roll basically was gone. There was no audio, I couldn't use it. I was in locations, standing next to a beautiful waterfall, saying how epic it was and just walking through like behind the waterfall and doing the things, but I couldn't use that footage. And that was it for me. That was it. I was done with the GoPro after that. It's not reliable. Now I have a Lumix G9 II, which is awesome. I can just switch it on. It just locks onto my face. The focus is great. It doesn't overheat. I also got a really nice monopod that I like, that you can also like open up and then it becomes a tripod. Makes it really easy to do kind of selfie stuff. I had to figure those things out, all the pieces, like my microphone, this one is good for A-roll. I had to get the collection of gear together that I'm comfortable with, and now it's just great. I can just switch on my camera and I know I'm gonna get the shot and I'm gonna have audio. I see a little indicator of the audio right here. I know that both channels are recording. I can see the focal point here on my face, so I know that I'm gonna be in focus. It's great. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you need the most expensive gear. This gear actually, it cost a fair bit, but I wanted to make an investment. It just means you need gear that you're comfortable with. If I was starting out now, I would probably get a DJI Pocket 3 or something like that. I've heard great things about it. It's like easy to use. It has a nice stabilization. Of course, focus on the creativity, but you need to have the right tools for the job as well. And that has been one of the biggest stumbling blocks for me in this whole process. And last but not least, I had to learn how to edit more efficiently, because when I started out, I could be working on a video on and off for 2 or 3 weeks because I didn't have the B-roll or I didn't have the right puzzle pieces and I wasn't so skilled with the editing yet. It just took a very long time. Now I can edit the video in maybe an afternoon or something. Like the last video I did on Hoaka, for example, it's kind of a nice travel guide. I'm happy how it turned out. That took maybe 3 or 4 hours to edit, which is great. That's an amazing leveling up in terms of efficiency from a year ago. So if you're in the beginning thinking, oh man, this video is never gonna be done, just try to learn little things with every new video you make, and then it does speed up a lot. It gets a lot better. However, I thought it'd be interesting to talk a little bit about the commercial side versus the creative side. So, something I knew already before I got into this, but it's kind of been reconfirmed now, is that making travel videos is very expensive. You first have to do the thing, you have to do the traveling, and the experiences cost money, and they cost time and energy. Then you have to film it, which you cannot just do like this, like you're doing a home video. You have to be filming with intent, doing this shot and then that shot, and then you have to think about how it's going to fit together. And then you get to editing, which can be a huge puzzle. In general, it takes a lot of time to edit travel videos because every travel experience is different. You cannot stick to a certain formula. You cannot write a script. It's different every time, which also makes it more creative and fun to make them. Now, I should talk maybe a bit more about this tension between creativity and the commercial side. There's something called an RPM, which you can find in your analytics dashboard on YouTube, which is the revenue per 1,000 views, the average revenue, which depends on your topic and where your viewers are, because, for example, viewers from the United States are much more valuable to advertisers, so they pay more for that. But yeah, just from ads, you can see how much on average you would make. It's just a few dollars per, 1,000 views. Here's an interesting thing. The RPM on my travel videos are 7 to 10 times lower than the RPM of my Indie Traveler blog. So for 1,000 visitors to my blog, I can earn 7 to 10 times more. That's kind of crazy. So of course I love the creative side of making the videos, but the commercial side of my brain thinks, in terms of making a living and spending my time wisely, would I make another video or would I make another article and have 7 to 10 times more earning potential? It gets even crazier because last year I started a new site, which I may reveal in the future. It's a niche destination site focused on a single island. And this site is doing well, and it has an RPM that is up to 30 times higher than my RPM on YouTube. That's crazy. So if you ask me, is there a lot of commercial potential on YouTube? I would say it's not that great, with some caveats, because I think if you have a lot of sponsorship deals or something, if you're a more successful YouTuber, then maybe that pushes your RPM up. But yeah, if you want to make money on YouTube, then I think it's probably smart to choose a topic that you can talk about from a home studio, because then you can switch on your studio lights whenever you want. You don't have to think about the weather. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to spend any energy or money to start a video. You can just chat about your hobby or something like that. And there are many people churning out videos like this with a script, with a formula, with some engagement editing. That's, I think, a way to make a living on YouTube, or at least a little bit more easily. I think when you're doing travel videos, you should probably keep your expectations a bit lower, because they are very intensive pieces of video to create. So with all that said, like, you can tell that the creative side I find really interesting, and I'm going to continue making videos on YouTube. However, I have stepped back a little bit and assessed the commercial side of things and how this channel fits into everything that I do. So I thought at first I would do maybe 2 videos a month, and I think maybe I won't do that. Maybe I'll do 1 a month and do the videos that I really want to do. I'm gonna expand beyond Mexico. So if you subscribe to me just for Mexico videos, then I'm sorry to say there's gonna be a bunch that are not related to Mexico at all. I plan to go to Bulgaria soon. I also might go to Indonesia later this summer. We'll see. But whatever the trips will be, I think they will be to some other destinations. So we'll see if, if you, my subscribers, will enjoy that other type of content. And beyond that, I think I will return to Mexico. But I'm going to try a few different things. But I'm going to take it easy. If you want to leave a comment, maybe tell me what types of travel videos you enjoy seeing. Is it the very cinematic stuff or more vloggy? Which destinations do you like? I'm interested to learn this. All right, I hope to hear from you, and see you in a future video. All right, ciao.